And Mr. Kirkland, thank you for being here. Can you kind of explain a little bit about your feelings towards Indian country?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Look, my feelings for Indian country are they're sort of tough to explain, right? I think, and maybe you've experienced this as well. I think oftentimes people expect or want to tell you how to feel towards Indian country, right? They may feel like you don't or haven't lived through the same experiences they have. So it's oftentimes difficult to put into words. I can tell you that when in Indian country, whether that is in Oklahoma or Montana or within the four sacred mountains of the Navajo reservation, there's a comfort there. There's a peace, more relaxed, and it's a feeling that you want to share. There's a pride there, and I hope to be able to honor those that have come before me and expressing and giving this pride to others. I think that President Trump and Secretary Burgum love and appreciate and respect Indian country. I think they care. I've sat in meetings with the president where they weren't public. It wasn't for a TV or a reporter. And the authenticity that he's been able to show, you oftentimes can't put it to words.
Right.
And that's oftentimes how I feel about Indian country. And I hope to be able to honor the trust relationship that the federal government is responsible for, and to advance self-determination and tribal sovereignty.
And what tribe do you come from?
Navajo Nation.
Navajo. See, and I'm Cherokee, and I never knew I was special for being Cherokee until I came to D.C. Because where I'm from, everybody's Indian or wants to be. And when I came up here, Tom Cole was the first one that came up to me and said, "Congratulations, we just doubled the size of our Native American caucus. Native American caucus, that was back in 2013. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I'm Chickasaw, and you're Cherokee." And I said, "Yeah, we taught you how to read and write." No, I'm kidding. And we joked about it because sometimes there's a misunderstanding. But what they don't understand about Indian country, and tell me if I'm wrong, is we don't look at the world through an R or D lens. We look at it from our heritage perspective. Would you agree with that?
Yes, Senator.
And sometimes people that aren't from Indian country and they're not Native, they don't understand it. They don't get it because politics is their world, and they want to make a big difference about it. They want to make a big thing about it. But at the end of the day, tribal issues, it's a federal responsibility we have. And so you can separate the politics out of it because we have an obligation. And in your role, I have to ask, are you going to fulfill that obligation?
Yes, Senator. There's no RD by any tribe's name. Look, this is politics are pushed aside when managing or keeping any trust responsibility or a treaty obligation. That's right. This is personal for you and I. These are our people. These are our tribal. Why the Hopi are going to be different from the Navajo or the Chickasaw or the Cherokee. There's a trust relationship that has to be honored between us and the federal government.
And it's drastically different. I mean, all of our tribes in Oklahoma are going to be all different from the tribes in the Midwest. And I think one of the coolest things that you have the ability to do is you get to learn all those different needs. And when you go in there with a background like yourself, and with Native people at the front of your mind in any decision you make, you have an opportunity to actually get to know them and get to know what their unique challenges are. I just hope on this, in this committee, that we try to leave the politics out of it and just put Indian country first. I mean, that's what our responsibility is here. That's why I think this committee is unique, because If there's ever a committee that works in a real bipartisan manner, it's this committee. And we have to be careful that we don't separate that, because as I repeat myself again, we have a federal obligation. And regardless if you're native or you're not, if we're in this position of authority, if we're in this position to actually affect that, we need to understand that and just all be in the same boat working together. So thank you for standing up. Thank you for your family too, to going through this with you, because it's a challenge. And your ability to continue to stay in the fight for Indian country is commendable. So God bless you.
Thank you, Senator.